evening. I want to show you something. Beth and I have been using Cerule products since 2018. They have products for joint pain, circulation, skin care, and more. But my favorite is something which I still take every day is this, Stem Enhance Ultra. This is what it looks like. This beautiful little green pill is very unique. It comes from only one place in the world. That's from a beautiful freshwater lake called Lake Klamath in Oregon. Cerule is the only company that has bought the rights to harvest the algae out of Lake Klamath. It enhances your bone marrow's ability to emit lots of additional brand new adult stem cells within 1 hour. These are your body's most amazing healing cells. They can become whatever cell is necessary to heal whatever they come across. In the early days of the United States, leaders like George Washington and Alexander Hamilton saw tariffs as a smart way to build a strong new nation. Tariffs fees on goods coming into the country from abroad. Tariffs are fees on goods coming into the country from abroad. They are not like regular taxes that take money straight from people's paychecks. Instead, they make foreign products more expensive, which pushes people to buy American-made items. This simple idea helped fund the government for more than 100 years without needing income taxes on citizens. Today, with the country's debt soaring past 39 trillion and the Federal Reserve System creating money out of thin air, it's time to bring back tariffs in a big way. They could replace the current setup where debt rules everything and lead to a more independent, prosperous America. Let's start with history to see why tariffs worked so well. Right after the Constitutional Convention, Right after the Constitution was ratified, Congress passed the Tariff Act of 1789, signed by President Washington on July 4th. This law put duties on import goods like cloth, steel, and tobacco. It was the first big move to raise money for the new government. Before that, under the Articles of Confederation, the states struggled because there was no strong way to collect revenue. Tariffs changed that. They brought in cash from imports, mostly from Britain, and helped pay off war debts from the Revolution. Alexander Hamilton, as Treasury Secretary, pushed for this. He believed tariffs would not only fill the Treasury, but also protect young American factories from cheap foreign competition. Hamilton laid out his full plan in the Report on the Subject of Manufacturers in 1791. He argued that America could not just rely on farming. Farms were great, but the country needed factories to make tools, clothes, and weapons. Without them, the U.S. would always depend on other nations, which could be risky during wars or trade fights. Hamilton said tariffs would give infant industries a chance to grow by adding costs to imports. American makers could compete and improve. He also suggested subsidies and prizes for inventions to spark innovation. Congress did not adopt all his ideas right away, but the report influenced later policies. For example, in the 1820s, leaders like Henry Clay promoted the American system, which used tariffs to fund roads, canals, and a national bank. This helped turn the U.S. into an industrial powerhouse. From 1789 to 1913, tariffs were the main source of federal money. In many years, that made up 80 to 95% of all incoming revenue. There was no permanent income tax on the people. A short income tax during the Civil War ended in 1872. Another try in 1894 got struck down by the Supreme Court. Back then, the government was smaller, but tariffs funded what was needed. The military, post offices, and basic services. This set encouraged This setup encouraged self-reliance. If a product was made in America, it avoided the tariff hit. Factories popping up in places like New England and the Midwest. Factories popped up in places like New England and the Midwest. Jobs grew and the economy boomed during the Gilded Age in the late 1800s because there was no taxes. Immigrants came to work, and inventions like the telephone and electric light thrived in this protected environment. Now compare that to today's system, run by the Federal Reserve since 1913. The Fed is the central bank that controls money. It creates dollars by buying government bonds, which is like lending money to the government. But here's the catch. Every dollar comes with interest attached. This means the government, the taxpayers must pay back more than it borrowed. It leads to constant debt growth. The Fed also prints money through quantitative easing, which floods the economy with cash. This causes inflation, where prices rise and your money buys less. It's a hidden tax on everyone, especially those on fixed incomes. The system favors big banks and Wall Street, while everyday people face higher costs for food, gas, and homes. Tariffs offer a better way. They are voluntary in a sense. You pay only if you buy foreign goods. Choose American and you skip the fee. This shifts money towards U.S. workers and U.S. companies. In today's world, think about China. The U.S. buys billions in Chinese products, from phones to toys. This sends jobs overseas and funds a rival nation that uses subsidies and cheap labor to undercut us. Tariffs could that uses subsidies and slave labor to undercut us. Tariffs could change that. A 20% duty on Chinese imports would make their stuff cost more, encouraging companies to build factories here. Jobs would return to the states hit hard by outsourcing. National security would improve too. No more relying on foreign chips for computers or rare earths for batteries. Economists who love free trade say tariffs raise prices and hurt say tariffs love say tariffs raise prices and hurt consumers. That's partly true in the short term, but history shows the long term wins. During high tariff eras like the 1890s, the U.S. economy grew fast. Prices were protected. Goods might go up. Good, the quality. The price of domestic goods might go up a bit, but wages rise as jobs increase. Innovation kicks in too. American firms get better at competing. Retaliation from other countries? It happens, but smart tariffs can lead to more fair deals. President Trump used them in his first term to push for better trade agreements. They worked to some extent, bringing attention to unfair practices. Imagine a tariff-free platform for the future. Imagine a tariff freedom plan for the future. Phase in higher duties on key imports, starting with tech and manufacturing. Use the revenue, potentially trillions over years, to cut income taxes. The 16th Amendment The 16th Amendment allowed income taxes back in 1913, but we could amend laws to reduce them. With tariffs flowing in, the government could pay down loan without the government could pay down debt without borrowing more from the Fed. Stabilize the dollar by tying it partly. No. Stabilize the dollar by calling in the old Federal Reserve notes, the bad money, the debt money, and issuing the oldest form of American money, the United States note, which is a debt-free sovereign money. In other words, the big bankers don't control it. It's issued into the economy only as much as is needed. Tying it Small businesses would thrive without heavy tax burdens. Entrepreneurs could focus on making things, not filing forms. This is not about this is not about closing borders. It's about smart protection. Tariffs build bridges with America. Tariffs build bridges within America, connecting farmers, workers, and inventors. They echo the founder's vision: a nation that produces what it needs, funds itself wisely, and stands strong. Jefferson worried about big government, but even he saw tariffs as useful. In a global economy full of challenges, tariffs are an opportune force. They displace the debt trap, spark growth, and restore freedom. The time is now to embrace this exciting shift. Let's make America self-sufficient again. I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good day. I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good day.